I think work is something that you can find fulfillment in. I think work is something that you do in recognition of, and in return you get rewarded for it.
I work here, can get money.
Work is, to me, a kind of expression of myself also. So what I'm good at, what I've always liked to do, and doing it on a daily basis.
Family is now depend on us. If we never work, how do we support our family?
You need to find something that you like to do, probably, yeah. I guess back to the basic, right? All your different needs, you need to be recognized and also meaningful in terms of contribution to the things that you're doing.
It's to earn money to make my own investments.
To be able to pay all your expenses and also have the experience and leisure also.
I think most important is the money. Whether, it's got the salary that I want.
I'm foreigner over here, so I come here alone, and if I come to work, I can meet my co-worker and we can just chit-chat.
There's a before and an after COVID, but I think people think differently today. They have other priorities, and flexibility is part of that. Maybe we want to allocate more time to the family, fitness, well-being.
I wanted to go into a different industry, but then I examined the reasons why I joined my current job in the first place 10 years ago, and then I decided to stick with it.
At this age, I don't think so I want to change. I'm 61 already, I couldn't afford to change my job.
When the pandemic was happened, I was working at the hotel and I got terminated from that. Now I have a working experience more than 1 year in the office. I feel like the pandemic, it was a big opportunity for me.
Not exactly. I think I'm happy what I'm doing. Yeah, but of course I constantly upgrade with the society, what's going on ESG, on other stuff, fintech related technology, yeah.
I'm looking for career growth but not changing my passion.
Working overseas gave me an open mind and courage to see that opportunities are limitless when it comes to careers. That we are not limited to geographical boundaries, and people, no matter where they are from, want in fact the same thing as we do. The fundamental things such as sustainability as well as having a meaningful life.
Working overseas has really changed my perspective of work in terms of the diversity of opportunities that are available and the way workplace culture is. I think it's really about being more inclusive in workplaces as well.
I think working overseas also meant living alone. And then the downside is, being away from your family, but then the upside is you get a lot of time to really, dedicate yourself to your craft and really devote yourself to work, most of the time. And I think that has really helped me to build a very strong network.
I think the first trend that's going to continue is skill polarization or job polarization, whereby basically jobs which are kind of middle skill get fewer and fewer in number, and they're replaced more and more by both jobs at the low and high end of the skill spectrum. The second big trend, I think, which will continue will be flexibility of work, but also insecurity of work, which is basically to say that jobs will become shorter in duration, more flexible, the meaning of work will become more malleable. And this will be generally at the expense of long-term tenure in the same kind of job or in the same firm.
If you think about now, most platform work caters to lower skill type of work we are familiar with, delivery riding, driving. But you also hear about graphic designing going on platforms, various kinds of computing skills. You can expect over time more and more medium level skills to also be on platforms.
In Singapore, we clearly have an economy that is digitalizing quite rapidly, and we will see a greater need and demand for digital skills across all industry sectors. Sustainability change agents are going to be in great demand. With the experience of the pandemic, we've also seen a greater awareness of issues around wellness and well-being. So we can also see, for example, greater need for skills in terms of helping companies equip themselves to create more optimal work environments so that employees feel motivated, feel supported.
In an aging society, fast aging society like Singapore's, what we will get is more older people who will need care. And the question is, what is the future of that care work? How do we value it? What values do we put around it? Who do we think are the right people to care for our older people in our society?
Will this mean that people will be out of a job? Will they be put out of a job by robots and automation? I don't actually think so, because what the history of the labour market shows is that when new technologies are developed and labour markets shift, people actually find new work to take up. For example, today there are many people who make careers in online gaming, esports, streaming, and they generate entertainment value that way.
The fears of job displacement will be very real at some point. If we think about digitalization, it can actually bring about interesting benefits in terms of what we call the dull, dirty, dangerous, and demeaning work, right? Work that is demeaning. Let's say someone has to scrub a social media platform of some content that is highly disturbing or overly sexualized in nature. Work that is dirty, for example, cleaning, dealing with hazardous substances, work that involves people having to enter very risky situations. Those could also see an increasing deployment of automation.
Employers are able to get individuals with a range of backgrounds, abilities. You might be able to decrease wages or the price for each product depending on whether there's a lot of supply of manpower at that point of time. Workers have a lot more flexibility in terms of dictating their life, a lot more autonomy, a lot more power to choose. At some point, it's also this question that who really takes care of me? Not just one employer, perhaps several, or perhaps none.
We are currently worried about that shrinking workforce because of the aging population. But if we don't remain constrained by that chronological age, that 65, 67, 70, whatever it is, and we just think about what you can do irrespective of your age, then we can close that gap. Because they are healthier, they're living longer, they are able to remain productive in the workplace. So more senior workers will have their education some time ago, and their skills, their experience might be a little bit outdated, obsolete perhaps even. So there's a huge reason for them to be upgrading their human capital, and how we do that, how they do that is going to be critical in the shape of people's welfare, in the productivity of the nation as we go forward.